Um, what did I post on my channel this week? If you want to go check it out, I did a whole story on I did a story on Baba and Annie, and Baba, I don't know if you guys even know who he is, but Annie, she was in this show called Young, Famous, and African, which is a Netflix show. Young, Famous, and African, and I did a story about their relationship, and that's a video I posted on the channel today. You guys should go and check out that video. It's really a video about not so much their love, but more about how their relationship and how disappointing it has been. Um, this woman, she has been with this man, Tubaba, since she was about you know, 14, 15 years old, very young. And he was much older than her. And some people call this grooming, where a older man sort of is with a younger girl, and then he had multiple children, even though he was with her, but he had five children outside of their relationship. And then finally they got married. They got two children together. Um, they've been married for over maybe I think 10 or 12 years. And then he goes to the internet to tell everyone that he's divorcing her, and then he proposes marriage to his new girlfriend on the internet. And I feel like how heartless is that, that you can do this to someone without, especially someone who is the mother of your children, right? And how do you do that? Even if you have, especially if you have sons and you think like, okay, this is how I want my son to treat, or this is how I want men to treat my daughters, because ultimately it's a man treating a woman this way, right? And of course, love, there's no guarantee in love, right? People fall in love all the time and people fall out of love all the time. But I think having respect for the person that you once loved, or the person that is the mother of your children, is kind of essential. And for somebody to just have no respect for how this person or what your actions is towards this person, it just seems so cruel, so insensitive. What did she do to you? What could somebody have done to you for you to just have total disregard of what your actions are having? And obviously, somebody was filming this. So maybe it was maybe like one of the girlfriend's friends, and was trying to embarrass him. And so maybe put this on the internet. But at the same time, yeah, maybe it was something like that, because I can't imagine that he would consciously think that it was okay for him to propose marriage to another woman while he is currently married. And not only to just, he is married to a woman who's the mother of his two children. So I found that to be very, very insensitive, very cruel. But to be honest, it's not the case just for um, Baba and Annie. Lots of people find themselves in these situations where they're in a relationship with someone, and it's a one-sided relationship where you love that person more than that person actually even loves you. Um, and you don't know how to get out of it, right? You think that this love is it, and that the more you hang on, the more the person is going to like love you, respect you. But it really doesn't always work that way. And I know that you might like, you know, women especially hold on to things longer than men. Men are kind of, and I think it's by design. I think men biologically are future thinkers. I don't know where I got this, but I read about this. Or yeah, men are supposedly future thinkers, right? So that's why you sometimes see men get out of relationships and jump into another relationship faster than a woman. A woman will still hold on and think, okay, let's give it more chance. He'll change his mind. Men think of like, okay, you know what? This thing is over. It didn't work. Let's go. Let's move forward. Let's not look in the past. Let's move forward and let's keep moving forward. Women, on the other hand, are more like committed and connected. And because we're the ones who carry the children or who are the mothers, maybe that's just our part of our DNA that we are supposed to be like the caregivers. And so because that we're caring, we can't just easily let go of things that we know and we recognize something's not right here, but we have attachment, right? And so I think that this is the story that happened with Annie. She's was super attached to this man, and then also he's a celebrity. I mean, he's not as big a celebrity as he used to be because before he used to be a much bigger star. I think one of his biggest records was something called African Queen. You are my African Queen, which is a very popular classic African song. A lot of African people play it at their wedding. It's one of those like classic traditional African songs. Anyway, he's known for that, and he's known for that and so, as a celebrity male, African man celebrity, you are surrounded by admirers, right? You have women on you all the time. So, it must be tough for you to be committed to anyone because you're always being, seduced. Women are throwing themselves at you. Women think they love you even though they don't know you, but just because of your celebrity, the music that you make, the songs that you make, they form attachments to especially singers. Like I know for one thing, I love Chris Brown. Chris Brown, he is an amazing dancer, his voice is amazing. And so maybe in my head, Chris Brown, you can romanticize about him, but obviously Chris Brown in real life is probably somebody I would really not be interested in dating, not saying that he would be interested in me, but just saying that it would be difficult to date somebody like that just because he would have so many women, falling in love with him just because of who he is and his career in his lifestyle and stuff like that. It becomes very attractive and, his songs invoke all kinds of emotions. So women throw themselves at these kinds of men, and it's very hard for them to remain committed. I think, so it's a struggle. Davido is another example. Davido, he had many relationships outside of his main relationship, which I think is the woman he finally ended up marrying, which is Chioma. So all of these things you say, okay, when you date these type of celebrity men, there is some level of heartache, right? There's some level of heartache that you should be expecting. But at and I think a lot of women feel like, okay, after, we're going to struggle, but we're going to get to a point where we'll be okay. We've kind of crossed this hurdle, especially when the man gets older. You think like a 50 something year old man is still sowing his oats? I don't know. And you think that he's done that, right? So now you and your man have made it. You've been together 10 years. He's in his 50s. You're in your, 40s or whatever. You think, okay, we've gone through the hard part, but no, not at all. This man he's not even done breaking Annie's heart. He's not even done breaking her heart, right? And again, like I said, it's not about not falling in love because I think you can't help falling in love with someone. Like you can fall in love with people very easily, right? But how you treat someone is definitely in your control, right? You don't have to throw it in her face. You could say, listen, and maybe he did. We don't know because all we're seeing is what we see on the internet. We see him proposing marriage when he's married. I think that's really sort of the heartbreak. And then because also Annie is on reality TV, you know that that's going to become up for discussion, right? I don't know if you guys watched um, season three of Young, Famous and African. Yes, you should watch it. It's on Netflix. If you watch that, Annie was already getting a lot of heat from the team about her behavior and her nastiness, right? And she kept saying that you don't know what I've been through. I've been going through a lot. And we learn subsequently that what she has been going through is again the unfaithfulness of the man that she's married to. And if you remember in season two, she was completely in love. They did like a vow renewal where the children came from Nigeria. They had a beautiful vow renewal in some like beautiful castle like place in South Africa. Tu Baba even wrote a song for Annie. It's called Smile, which you can find on YouTube, where he talks about how he just loves, wants to see this woman smile. And so you think like, okay, you write a song for me. Who is not going to fall for a man writing a song for them? I mean, what? Can you imagine a man writing a song for you and every time it plays in public, you know that that's your song? That's what I think is kind of like people romanticize singers and songwriters. Like they always win when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? Anyway, so he writes a song for you, you do this vow renewal, it's public, and then 4 years later or 2 years later, not even four, maybe 2 years later, it the next season of the show before the show the next season of the show you're already trying to marry somebody else. That is just wow. That is just too much. That is too much for someone to bear. That's just cruel. The level of humiliation, the level of cruelty that someone invokes on someone else, it's not deserved. There's nothing this woman could have done to deserve such bad treatment that we see. There's nothing she's going to have done to deserve such poor treatment by a man that that claimed to love her, wrote songs about her. You are my African queen, the girl of my dreams. And we have to believe that at one point that was true. Okay, his dreams changed, and now he has other African queens that are part of his dreams. But you don't treat the old person, the old African queen, like garbage, like she doesn't matter, like what apologize to her. Even if I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, he may have proposed marriage, but he didn't film that, right? Maybe somebody could have filmed that and put it on the internet, and he looked like he wasn't even he was drunk, or he was you know they were just the way. If you see that video, they're kind of just moving in a very strange way. So somebody did it and posted it. Somebody did it trying to be petty, I would say, trying to be very petty, posted it on the internet and trying to, obviously somebody who is not a fan of Annie, somebody who doesn't like her, I think, posted it on the internet. But he should have come out afterwards and said, listen, because this lady that he proposed marriage to, Natasha, she should never think for a moment that if this man can do this to one woman, that he can't do it to her. Because the way you treat someone is an example of showing how you're going to treat someone else, right? And I feel like that's where a red flag should be. As a person who was now, if this was me, if I was the Natasha, the woman being proposed to, I would not want this to be the situation. I would want him to be like, be kind to his ex, because I want him to be kind to me, right? I want him to be kind to our future children. I want him to be kind, not just some mean monster who's just only thinking about himself and how this makes him feel, and not thinking about all the people in the past, his children who are seeing this, right? His children who are hearing conversations of their parents' sort of marriage. Like, there's so many consequences uh, to this, that a responsible man would, even if somebody did go ahead and post this thing on the internet and he didn't know, would say, listen, I want to tell you guys that yes, maybe my marriage is coming to an end, but I have a lot of respect for Annie. We have two beautiful children together, and I would never do anything to disrespect her. This was not something that should have been posted, and it is, I don't know, something to make her not lose face. And yeah, that's really what I have to say about that. It's very painful to see something like that. It's not, I'm not happy when other people cause suffering, or suffering is happening, because suffering is just something that nobody should wish for another person. And to have this happen to this woman, she may not be a nice person. They may have had a very tumultuous marriage, in terms of, maybe they just stopped getting along. You can always fall out of love with somebody, right? You don't always have to be in love with someone, but you don't have to disrespect someone just because you no longer love them, right? Um, that doesn't have to be who you are. You have to be, you can do things in a way that doesn't let the other person feel dishonored, disregarded, disrespected, thrown out, insecure. Like, it does so much emotional damage to someone, that it has to be karma that is going to stay with you because of what how you treated someone. So, yeah, that's just my 2 cents. But I did do a video on that. So if you guys want to, in fact, please go and watch the video. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Have you ever been in a situation like this where you love someone so badly, and then they just embarrassed you on the internet? Or not even on the internet, but just in real life, that they have taken advantage of you, or disregarded how you feel, even though they want to move on. They no longer want to be in a relationship. There's a better way to do it. There's a right way to do it. There's a kind way to do it. There's a humane way to do it. Forget about all of that. And I want to hear from you. Please leave a comment below. And thank you for coming to the live. If you guys like content like this and want to see more of this type of content where I give my opinion on current events, leave a comment below if you're part of the replay crew. Okay, take care and have a great rest of your day. Bye.